can हम जब दो लोग और हैं वहाँ पे
Congratulations.
I'm glad I've met you today. So you're with Shinoda.
I like the I like it more.
Yeah, I'm trying to develop my,
Okay, can we just now you've heard that. Okay, have a seat. First, thank you very much for the very successful day. Thank you for coming, everyone. And I think this is just the start. We're going to take off. They say in Arabic, inshallah. We're going to take off together. We have to work hard together. You can see some view, and as Mamdouh said, for everybody, we have to work with them. Okay? But we have to be factual as well. Now, also, Mr. Kimon mentioned that we're going to have a dinner with Professor Terence Stevenson. I intend, because he was supposed to come today, but just to please the BOA and just to be diplomatic, we agreed to move till tomorrow so the BOA member can attend. But it was, the agreement was based on that you're going to meet him. And the offer from us as SAS or BOSA is to invite them all the speaker and a group of us to go. And then what has happened, I don't want to go into details, the BOA said, no, we are the one who inviting. And even to some extent, I wasn't about to be invited, but because I kept pushing, I got invited on behalf. So at least we are represented. Now, the question is, now, me and Mamdouh will be there tonight. Now, we want your view, what to say on behalf of you now. You've had the whole day, okay, to the GMC chair. Everything has been mentioned, but if anyone has got any point, we can take it into consideration. That's the main thing, because we are not speaking about ourselves, neither me nor Mamdouh, we are speaking about the whole group. And I'm saying, I would have liked, and I pushed, that it would be a group of us, or even all of us, but it came from the BOA, so at least we are thankful to them that they included us. Okay, so anyone?
I think it's probably better or politically correct.
Are you writing them down, what we are saying?
No.
You are going to forget otherwise.
Okay.
you can write down.
How's that?
I thought we are not going anywhere because we are going into our status of property.
Who is writing actually?
No, you write it for yourself, so you can read your own
Okay,
handwriting.
fine, okay.
Not to correlate the specialist registration with the consultant position, because they can
With
sometimes
Who's the consultant?
with the GMC. We are as SAS doctors, we are just asking for recognition to be on the specialist register. We are not looking for a consultant position. This is very important because they get very irritated when they hear that. They think that all these 2,000 or 3,000, they want to become a consultant, and if we give them the specialist registration, they will compete with our trainees, and we already have a backlog of so many trainees, we cannot even create consultant positions for them. So it's very clear that they understand, you just wanted specialist registration. Equivalent to those who come from Europe. You have people coming from Europe.
So what is the question? We want
No, I think what he mentioned, can I just, okay, what he mentioned that when we talk to them, we are not concentrating on that Caesar will need to consult.
Yeah.
We all know that actually their own trainee who got CCST, some of them will not get consulted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
the GMC already specify, even if you're on special register, does not guarantee as a consultant. You have to go through open competition.
Yeah.
So that doesn't should not discriminate.
That's it.
It's an open competition.
I think what you need to understand, when we had a dinner with GMC chairs, why don't you tell, apart from whinging and negative, what you want for him to support realistically?
Within a board, yeah.
Okay?
So-
You might say recognition, you might say better environment, you might say we need to send a message to the consultant that people need to be developed locally, something like that.
Yeah,
We
that-
don't need to
that
whinge
point
about
is important.
SBA, we don't need BMA issue. With the GMC chair, we're not going to have a glass of wine with him and tell him, well, listen, we're being treated badly and we are, it's not right. We need to be very
specifically
Okay, very careful what he
Yes,
said.
yeah,
Yes,
that's fine.
It's not,
Actually, can I just say something? Everything which has been said has been sent as a base document to all of these people beforehand. And I think some of them.
Yeah, it has.
So they know. It's not a surprise what we've said today. It's only the PowerPoint they haven't seen it.
But she knew that when we sit with someone at dinner, if you just bombard them with too many things,
No.
it won't be it.
No, I'm not.
Let's get 3 things, and if it's possible, we probably can do 1 or 2 of them. But only 3 things. What request from SS surgeon to the chair of GMC?
One is,
Can I catch
3 things, only 3.
One by one.
I agree with that, nothing more than that.
Okay, I will say any point
So what was the first point, just for clarity?
that Caesar does not lead to consultants. That's fine.
Yeah, but we
No,
said
that's not
Caesar
included.
is only 10%.
That's not the point.
So what's 3 points? Can I say even to 3 points? Because this been passed to the BOA, the whole document passed to the BOA, and Professor Colin Howie said, okay, when I've told him that we will pass this document, and then he and Mike Kimon both seen it, and they responded. The 3 points which they are saying to us out, because it was 8 points I put in the document, is Caesar.
What about?
Okay, what about Caesar? You
One
know,
answer the
duality in reaching Caesar. Duality. As we said, okay, this is duality. The European and us. Now, he has said the European, the excuse which they are using is European law. Now, this is, can I let me finish? Okay.
I just need to stop because it's going to change. Even now, the GMC said people coming from Europe, they're going to do an English exam.
English, but not.
Yeah, but
not-
it will come because haven't tell you that the 3 curriculum asked by them to be one from Romania, 1 from Poland, 1 from Denmark to be compared and certified as equivalent. They're doing step, but we have to know we live in this country long. This takes long. It's not tomorrow. It's not
We are not
something.
saying.
Yeah, and also they are linked with European countries. They cannot say no. They can say to the German doctor, come and work here.
But the same argument here, can I just repeat it again because I've told him. Now, if they are saying because European law we are implementing this, also European law give you the right to be treated exactly like others. So this is another point.
Others who?
You know what?
The one who comes from Europe.
If you want to be like European, because in Europe there's
No.
a staff grade there.
There is no staff grade.
No, there is. I'm telling you,
There is
but
in
the
different
system is there. Is everyone had a training, but not everyone reach a consulting level. So you have a
Yes.
staff grade and a special. So it's not everyone in the bank be a chief executive or senior manager, but at least everyone had a basic training. So if you want something from GMC, personally, Nando Holger, I'll tell you, I need everyone from SS doctor, surgeon, to have a basic training. You cannot have non-trained nurse. You have the basic training. But not every nurse be a sister.
Yeah.
That's a different issue. So I think that's probably is, and I think these training things or development in your local hospital doesn't need to be a training program, but it is an opportunity. So SS doctor need an opportunity for training and development. Not just development, because they take the word development and say, okay, leadership, communication skills. And they, no, I need
No,
a training
surgical
for
training.
it in your specialty
Surgical
to
training.
be recognized training. So the patient coming to see you in the clinic know that you had a basic training. You might not be a consultant, but at least you had a basic training. You're not a second-class doctor. You have a basic training.
Any other question?
Yeah, that is the point, that's the point you should
First,
discuss.
okay.
Basic training,
Yeah.
locally.
Locally, yeah, you don't need to go through
And not
rotation.
at the expense of the SPR, because they have to do a number, so you can't do this operation.
Okay.
That's what happens
Okay,
usually.
fine.
They have to
Okay.
make the consultants
Any-
realize
now-
these
alright.
people are there to see patients and operate.
What I mean is opportunity for training doesn't mean that you go and do 6-year training.
No, not that.
Opportunity for training, to have a basic training and be recognized by the people you work with it, within the health care system, that you had your basic
Can I
training.
add on one
Can I just
more
one by one, please? Excuse me, please.
One more line beyond that, what you, I fully agree.
Don't worry, you can buy me back. I'm
No,
not,
no, no,
I don't mind at all.
I'm not gonna-
Don't feel,
Basic
I'm your
training
colleague, so.
leading to a recognition.
Yeah,
What sort of
Legal
recognition?
recognition.
Yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
Okay.
We also support recognition and respect, of course, yeah, we agree with that.
So the main thing here, I think, can you please just, okay, one of the points,
So what do you get?
which even suggested is
It happens to
okay, Caesar, so people who want to get into specialist register, I think the way should be, I'm not saying paved with flour, but there should be some improvement, okay? Now, the other point which he has mentioned is training. That we are not training. We are not trained doctor. We are trained, and Mamdouh said, we have to have a basic training. We are not having training like the others, the SPR, but whatever we do should be accepted as training, okay? Any other point?
Can I add something?
that
Caesar?
opportunity
We
should-
make it realistic when you say
Yeah.
GMC rather than Caesar, he said.
Yeah.
Okay, we can say, the president of the state, for people who have a Caesar and have a deficit or something, what's in Caesar, they need the support from the training program director to put them whatever is required. If someone
Yeah, that's-
hasn't got a spine or pediatric, and that's
Yes,
go
and
knocking the
yeah.
door, no anything is that, no, if anyone want to have a Caesar or put an application and suggested you had lack some training,
SAS training program.
need to go to TBD, training program director, and take it under the wing to TBD to support. So at least we request one thing, we add one thing to the Caesar, as everyone individual and do this one and kiss the hand of one consultant to be accepted in pediatric clinic and
I
that.
think this is very good and
Yeah,
very
that is
point.
good.
So
This is
let's
very-
request
No, no,
that.
okay. Can I just add on it a bit, build on it? This is a very good point. Now, for the SPR, if they apply for their training, because I've done top-up training, so I've done the RITA and trainee assessment form, so they fill it in for you and they sign it. Now, and the SPR, once they are signed the RITA, it's fine. He's signed off and the assessment form. Now, for us, for anyone who even who done the training, when you go to the SEC, you don't see anyone. They're only dealing with you as paper. The thing which you can ask, and I'm just offering to you, that it also should be a meeting with the candidate and speak to him, and as you said, the support from the training program director and also support from the SEC, like, or the training program director, like the SPR. I don't know what you agree, or because you don't want to be
You
treated.
might see, I don't know if you met with, I go with the BOTBD Day and Development Day. There are busy people up to here, and they don't want to talk to anyone, you know what I mean? If they tell them have extra SS doctor with their problems, they might say, oh my God, no. They said plenty, no. So
They can say no.
if you impose all of them, because
You have to put in a.
No,
training program director had 50 training in the region, and he suffered from that. So if you add extra 50 SS doctors, he will probably commit suicide.
I'm not saying extra 50, I'm saying the people who are applying
That's for Caesar.
for season.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
so not everyone, we have that
Yeah.
only
But if
12%.
I think for
Okay.
someone who puts the application and had been refused or has been
Yeah, then you can go.
been in for 9 months, so the TBD need to support.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic about that. Otherwise, I want to do the season, but I got 4 years for my
Okay.
training to complete my season.
So I-
Come on, go in the training program, you know what I mean? So let's be realistic. People who apply to the Caesar come back as a negative recommendation. It just needs to be.
I think this is valid point that whoever
Same
said
like the old FRCs,
Yes.
when you fail your exam,
Yes, you-
they go to the examiner advisor in the region. I don't know.
Okay, so this is-
If you done like me in the early 90 FRCs.
okay, this is a valid point. Okay, Mohammed.
My suggestion will be, go with the one-point agenda. That today we have established BOSA, you are the president, you are our representative. And Mamdouh has all the experience, he has been fighting alone for the last 2-3 years, and he knows what happened. So you two should say, look, from today onwards, any decision about us should not be made without consulting you as the BOSA president, representative. That's it. Once GMC, BOA has agreed, SCP agrees, no decision will be made without consultation to you.
Okay.
And you decide with your executive body what you are going to take.
Okay, I think there is another
My
point.
suggestion.
There is another point. This is, if you remember, Mamdouh last year, Tim Briggs and Mike Kimball promised that you will have, they've taken you, yes, but you are associate dean. So you are not taken as an SAS, you are
No,
taken.
I'm SS, I'm
Yeah, you
proud
are.
with SS.
Okay, no, no.
They don't, I'm SS, I'm your specialist.
No, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say here,
I'm very proud to be SS.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's no.
Okay, but being with that, I'm not saying anything. They've taken you are associate dean, you are on special register. Now we are talking about the bread and butter. The people who they think they are, I don't want to say I'm the one of the first, nothing, because I'm not associate dean, I'm not on special. So we need also the other to have it balanced.
No, Shalabi, from now onwards, you are the president of
No,
the
no.
COSA.
Forget about the president.
You are the
Okay.
president.
I think Shalora,
End of the day.
we have one.
Mr. Allah wants to say
We have one of this. There are people who are now as SAS doctors.
Yes.
They don't want to progress to become the.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, and this is reality. This is the time.
Yes,
this
we
is
know
the-
that.
It's a majority.
This is the big
Yeah.
issue that we have.
Majority.
Yeah.
Anybody can come. They can just change, slash on this. So, and what legal standing we have to say, well, I've done 300 hip replacements in the last 4 years, and somebody suddenly says they've taken away my 7 list in 10
Yeah,
sessions.
that's the main.
So that is a big issue. We have to have a standing, and we have to say, okay, we have the credentials, and nobody can just change when they come in. Like
So
that.
this is job plan issue.
So for us to go, it will be.
Well, I don't mention job
It's not a
plan.
job plan.
No. They cannot determine conditions of EMA.
Yeah.
Let's make it development. I usually very clear about taking EMA issue out from what we
What
want,
I mean is
guys.
that we have this, that we can do this, we have been doing this is what we will
So
do. They
we
can't-
might say, is
Credentials or whatever.
locally, the clinical director responsible to develop the SS doctors. So have a meeting with you and say what you want to develop, even if you haven't done foot and ankle. Listen, we've got a lot of foot and ankle. We need you to develop foot and ankle. I'll send you as a consultant to do scarf osteotomy, and after 6 months you do it for the department. That's a development.
That's what we need.
That's a development.
Yeah.
We need a development, local development.
So, okay, so we need
But we
to,
cannot impose it from the top. It will be that, let's hope,
That's good.
in my BOA position, we can foster that in the BOA and send a message to the department that SS surgeon needs to be developed. Not just filling the gap, not just doing the clinic when you're.
so I think we talk about development, we talk about training,
Right.
that our training is recognized, okay? Now, who think about the name? Are you all happy with SAS or medical practitioner specialist?
I think SS.
SS is fine,
I think that now everyone know what.
So everyone
SS.
knows what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and coming in the document, I think that's really
It's
good.
okay. Anyone want to add anything before we go?
I have just want to ask something.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility, because, this gentleman here mentioned that, for instance, I've done 300 hip replacements, and how do I get the credentials to do that? My point from there onwards is that currently I understand that the orthopedic trainees or the GP trainees, they're not on the specialist register. Now, if, for people who do not want to go through the Caesar route, can there be a way, can the GMC be asked to kind of recognize and put us, the long-standing people, on the specialist register? So that then we can say that we are on the specialist register,
We
and
can.
we can, because we have been doing this work for a long time.
Okay.
Consider it's a
The regulation, even the
Yeah.
GMC share cannot do that.
Yeah.
He said, this is the rule, this is, we have to follow the rule. And if he agreed, the GMC share, let's just come, hang on a second here, what's the point to have a training and say, well, let's be realistic, I know what you mean, I know your feeling, I understand exactly, but we can't. That's what we can say between us, we can't. Okay, what we need, let's be realistic. People want to take a Caesar, that's different, okay? That's a
Yeah,
minority.
forget about it.
Let's talk about the people on the grade. There are senior people, there are junior people. I'm not worried about you guys sitting here, okay? I'm worried about the junior people as doing the SHO level and keep doing this one, clerking patient, even doesn't know how to do stitches. Why, how can they develop? No one care about that. We need to improve our grade, our current grade. How to develop in your grade. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Okay? How can you get more scale, independent, and that's what we want to do. And that's give us personal satisfaction and enjoyment in your job. Okay?
I think that's the point.
All right.
that's
Can I
what we
just-
want to have.
Okay, I think we've got that development is one of
Yeah.
the key issues.
Issue.
Now, I think that's why, and I'm still going back to it, that's why when I mentioned practitioner, specialist, and forget about consultant because this will upset them. But our group, as we've tried to define, there is junior, middle, and senior. Now, okay, I agree that the majority doesn't want to go on the specialist register, but we need to be recognized as practitioner, orthopedic practitioner, or at least orthopedic specialist. I think that's my feeling.
We agree.
You are happy?
I agree.
Okay, because that's what we want, and I think to do that, part of it to change the name. That's my feeling.
I don't think we're able to change the name
No, no.
because it's coming from
Look, we have to. Look, can I say something? Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
No, but still.
We cannot able to. We are not be able to change the name. You have to aim high, and then you get something. But if you say I'm not going to change, you are not going to have anything.
What suggestions shall we?
No, that's all. I think anything else.
Well, that's for us, between us to change the name, so let's have a discussion later about the name and other
Before we
things.
start with associate specialists,
Like it is on the phone, you go GMC consultation, then submit your.
Who else put the name for the executive committee? Let me write it down.
Can I say something?
No, well, let me write first.
No, but where is it?
Who else?
I know that, but what I'm saying is
What
somebody
you
is
say?
holding it back.
Everyone who plays. Okay.
If someone doesn't want it, let's speak for.
Okay, can I finish?
Yes.
Everyone who came and submit CV to come to me, to Munir, will be included. Okay? Everyone who came.
Have submit CV, so I'm not going to do it.
Okay, that's fine, it's up to you. It's not for me. Okay, happy?
Well, you can read, I'm going to.
Thank you.
What did I say? Rajkumar, what was the name?
Tangaraj.
Sangaraj.
Yeah. This is some in family everybody.